Under its previous operating model, Jack Cooper could not subcontract excess capacity to non-unionized carriers. An additional factor leading to budget pressures at Jack Cooper was an aging fleet of equipment that generated higher maintenance costs. Very interesting. Automotive logistics. Hey, what's up, ecosystem? You heard of a driver shortage? Yeah, I recently was reading about a car hauler shortage, and yet I know I get emails all the time from guys and gals that have dreams of becoming car haulers. So how do we have a shortage if there's this overabundance of folks that want to get in the business? We're going to talk about that tonight. You're going to want to buckle in. It's Tuesday nights live on Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host. Welcome back to the show. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host, and that is the car hauler. That means it's 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Tuesday night, and we're back. Thank you guys so much for joining me again for another weekly episode of Auto Transport Intel. Let me give you the show lineup. Listen, if it's your first time here, I want you to feel welcome. I want you to say hello, join the live chat. It's a big part of the show. If you've got a question, please do post it. If you want to promote your company, product, or service, that's great. Do that. And I'm going to say hello to the live chat here in a few minutes. We're going to go in and do that. It's going to be great. Let me know where you're at, what you're doing, and how's business? Are the rates going back up? Industry news, we're going to go into that in the quarter hour. Industry news is social media, national news, companies, products, services, information, and memes. And anything you guys share with me, autotransportintel@gmail.com. You can send it to me and catch it on Tuesday night. Information superhighway is where I set up tonight's topic. I already kind of talked about driver shortage. We're going to keep talking about driver shortage, driver retention, driver recruitment. Do we have it? Is it a problem? Is it a challenge? Of course, it's all those things. Do you want to be a company driver? Are you going to lease on? Or are you just going to start your own business and go for it? So we're going to be talking about all of those things. In fact, we're lucky. Tonight we've got Derek from Fine Line Transportation and John from Larrick's Towing and Transport in the interview segment with me. The three of us are going to talk for a half hour about what it's like to own and manage a fleet and work with these issues: driver shortage, driver retention, driver recruitment. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to open it up. They're going to stay on into the live panel. We're going to bring in Don from 929 Transport, Candy from Jack Sport Storage, and Ty from CTS. And all six of us are going to go into the Wheel O Topics. If you were here last week, we kicked off a new segment. It's not a segment, it's a feature. We kicked off a new feature called Wheel O Topics. I'm very proud of it, clearly. So, yep, I'm proud of myself. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for joining the show. I really do appreciate it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to stick around. We're going to be right back.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verification of loads and nobody answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years of experience in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we fill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staffing and even better dispatching. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021. If you want to email me, it's murphyallytransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Okay, it's 8:05. That means it's time for the Hello Live Chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and saying hello in the live chat. It really does mean a lot. Seeing you guys week after week, it makes my week. So I really appreciate you guys joining me. Bogey Joe Sr. says, hello, mateys. Good to see you. We made it here again. Well, hello, Bogey Joe. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for saying hello in the live chat. And thanks for being a part of the core now. You know, I've seen you in here a lot, and I really do appreciate it. So hope you're doing well. Silver Mint is here looking for gold bars. Well, this is a great place to do that. Gold bars make it rain, Jane. Well, thank you, Silver Mint, and I really do appreciate you saying hello and knowing about the gold bars. Gold bars has been a favorite joke of mine since I was a dispatcher in my wee early days there in 2012, 2013. Ty Thompson, is this where you find drivers? Well, we hope so. We hope so, Ty. Hopefully this isn't where we find shortage or shrinkage. So we'll be seeing you in the show here in a little bit. Ty, Top Training is with us. What's up, Jay, from Manheim Auction in Houston, Texas. And Sir Transport. Hey, what's up, Top Trending? Thanks for tuning in from Manheim Auction in Houston. How's the Manheim treating you today? Everything goes smoothly? Did you have your gate pass? Did you get all the information that you needed to pick up your car in a timely fashion? Or are you stuck there? Or did you plan to be there? Very curious. Hey, Sue, what's up? Thank you for tuning in, Sue. That was Murphy Auto Dispatch Services in the commercial there. If you got a question for Sue, let her know that you need help. She wants to help. Mark is here. Hey, what's up, Mark? Mark from Superflow wishing all a good evening. It is Mark Grodicke from Superflow Systems and Dispatch Center. Actually, we're excited because we're going to have Mark on again next Tuesday night. Dispatch Center Part 3. Can you believe it? There's that much to know? Holy mackerel, so we're excited to see that happening. Carlos Braxton from ACB Logistics. What's up, Carlos? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for saying hello. Really do appreciate a part of the core feeling the love. Carlos Braxton, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Mason is here. Hey, what's up, Rob? Hey, Jay, Florida here. What's up, Rob Mason from Florida? Thanks for tuning in again. Appreciate it. Rob Stevenson. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you for joining the show, Rob Stevenson. I do appreciate it. I really do. It means a lot. Vince Monroe. Vince from Click Transportations. What's up, Vince? Click Transportations. I love a good name, don't you? I really do. Thank you, Vince. Thanks for saying hello. Gary P. Waiting for my pizza in Reseda, California to watch your show. Well, shoot, man. I hope that pizza gets there soon. I hate waiting on food, don't you? Man, I'm just getting hungry. I want some food, man. But thanks for saying hello from Reseda, California. That's awesome, man. I know where that's at. Vince says, good evening. Have a great show. Well, thank you, Vince. I really do appreciate it. I work really hard on it. I hope it shows. I hope it's not like the weekly flop. You know, so hopefully it's a good show. I really appreciate that. I think it's going to be a great show tonight. This is a great topic. This is a huge topic. This is a national topic. It gets talked about. It gets written about. And it never seems to get fully fleshed out. So we're going to be talking about this thing. Why, Sean? What's up? From Jess and Y. What's going on, you guys? It's good to hear from you. I appreciate you saying hello. I hope you enjoy the show tonight. I hope it makes you think. Really, that's the point. You know, infotainment. There ain't no tainment without the info. Ty says, yes, sir. What's up? Ants Transportation. Thanks to the ELD mandate, I can watch the show. Well, say something good came out of it. That's pretty neat. Man, between the show and Kool-Aid, the ELD just keeps on giving. Mark and Sue and Top Trending. Sir Transport, you tell them to stop taking 20 cents a mile. What else we got here? Well, thank you, Y. Sean. That is really nice, man. Fist bump to you too, bro. I really do appreciate that. It does mean a lot. Long time lurker, first time watching the live chat. Well, thank you, H. Hall. That's cool, man. Lurk as much as you want. I think I've even talked about that in a past show. Doing the initial homework to start hauling cars. Thanks for the info. Listen, I'll tell you what. I put this in the industry news. I am not a dream crusher. I'm a realist, okay? And this is a really important topic. And there's a lot of reality when you go. If you start any business, there's a lot of reality. But man, oh man, is there a lot of reality in car hauling and trucking. So we're going to be talking about it. Hey, the pizza's here. All right, man. What kind of pizza you having? That smells good. Oscar Vasquez, Oscar from Presidential Auto Transportation, Florida. Hey, I like that. Presidential Auto Transportation. Nice job, Oscar. That's a great name. Crazy Mike Weaver, good evening. Gerard is hungry. Yeah, dude, you're making us hungry, man. Hey, Kimberly. What's up? Kimberly's in the live chat with the wrench. That's pretty cool. Martin Mancini, hello from Vegas. Really enjoy the show, getting my CDL by the end of the month. Great. Martin, you're going to like this show. This is going to be, if you're serious, I'm serious about this. And I know I got some naysayers out there. I always will, right? Because I'm not a driver. But I'm telling you, if you're a driver or thinking about being a driver or starting your own business, this is going to be a big show. You're going to want to see this. You're not going to like everything we talk about, but it is going to be helpful. It's going to paint a picture. Bill from Exquisite Trucking here out of Southern Maryland. Anyone looking to network? Well, shoot ya, Bill. Most people do want to network. And so, even the folks that don't say they do. Because without building relationships, what have you got? You got a load board and a bunch of negative Nancys. Come on now. I made some ELD Kool-Aid. I must say it was pretty good. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, at St. Patrick's, around St. Patrick's Day is when the ELD Kool-Aid really spills into the hallway. Hey, what's up, Ty? More sushi. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I'm telling you, a super chat goes a long way to make me happy. You know what I actually do now is I find editing kind of tedious. I mean, I like to make shows and content, but sometimes editing is a little bit tedious. So here's a secret, man. I'll edit while I eat, and it makes the time go faster. So there you go, man. I'll be editing and eating sushi. Thank you so much, Ty. Andrew Aldridge, first time watching live. Love the content in your videos. Lots of great info. Thank you, Andrew. That's awesome, man. I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thanks for letting me know. I'm glad that we're connecting through the content. That's great. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. Rob Stevenson, hey, give me a shout. Would you like to hear what you have going on? Yeah, man. In fact, yeah, if you have a question for Mark at Superflow, Dispatch Center, Truckify, send him an email. Mark at superflowsystems.com. By the way, can you see me and hear me okay? I'm going to go with yes, but I just want to make sure that everything's cool. I think so. I think we're good. Martin Mancini going with a 2-car enclosed. Hey, man, not a bad idea, man. Niche business. This is a niche business. John Larrick is standing by. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for saying hello in the live chat and waiting in the green room. This is going to be a great show. And I'm going to try to keep it moving, man. I got to get to industry news fast, dude. Top trending was watching Trump live in Wisconsin, but this is going to be better. Thank you, man. But don't let him know, man. He'll tweet at me. Nah, I'm just kidding, man. This will be all right. Hi, Artie. Hey, Bogey Joe. Gary P. What's up? Hey, what was the website for ACV for drivers? Go to acvauctions.com/ATI. I'm going to do acvauctions.com. Let me grab the URL, post it in the live chat, and there you go. And, that's the thing. And ACV Auctions, and we had talked about this, it's never going to stop. You're going to keep getting carriers because of this show, and I'm really proud of that. It's really, really cool. So thank you for asking, Gary, and go get signed up. You're going to love it. Custom Wheel Horse Tractor Eric 83, what's up? Hey, man. Cool. Thanks for saying hello. Joseph Pacheco, hey, man. New Era Trucking from Fall River, Massachusetts. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for saying hello. I really appreciate that. Hey, yeah, thank you, Ty. Hit the like button. I always forget to talk about that stuff. But if you can hit the like button, smash it, press it, jump on it, throw the pizza on it, whatever, that'd be great. I really do appreciate it. Great video. Thank you, guys. All right, well, listen, we're going to go into industry news. It is time to do that. So please stick around. You're going to see this, and I'm going to be right back.
Hey guys, Ty, CTS Business Coaching. I connect dealers, auctions, and carriers. If you're a dealer and you're not getting your inventory on the lot in 5 days ready to sell, you've got a problem. It's called interest. Like I'm telling you something you don't know. Give me a call, I can connect you with an auction and a carrier, and you can get your cars on the lot in 5 days or less. 417-483-2764. Thanks and have a great day.
Hey, I just saw that comment. You're totally right. Isn't that the funny thing? Once you get more carriers, what do you need more? You need more loads. You need more loads. You need more. Well, you need carriers and loads, and they both now it never stops, right? It's like bringing water buckets to a house on fire. It just never stops till the fire goes out. But that analogy makes no sense, Jay. Hey, by the way, it is time to go into industry news, and sometimes I take chances. Car hauler shortage, retention to recruiting. I think I got close on those words. I got close enough. This is episode 120 and Tuesday nights in a row. This is a big show, lots to talk about. This is a big topic, so I appreciate you guys joining me for this. And let's go into the news. Let's see here, where are we at? Okay, here we go. Let's start with a meme. Car hauling is my dream. It ain't no picnic. You know why? You know why that's true? It is true, by the way. It ain't no picnic, and you know it's not. How about that? How about that chop job? This is an actual driver. I think the dealer took this photo. Found this on autotransporteverything.com Facebook page. So I'm pretty sure the dealer took the picture of it and then said that. Let's see here. I think he got a text from the driver. The driver says there's going to be problems. The dealer says, what kind of problems? And the driver says, I didn't get paid and I don't have money. And the dealer says, oh, okay, you didn't really expect to still get paid after totaling a Suburban, did you? I'm very sorry that this happened to you, but this is going to cost someone a lot of money. No one forced you to stuff all those vehicles on your truck. I will be in touch once we determine that you're a legitimate licensed and insured carrier. If you have cargo insurance that covers damage, you will absolutely get paid the agreed amount. So there you go. And I think I read that the customer was happy because then the insurance company totaled it. He got more money than he would have otherwise. Car hauling is my dream. You watch too much YouTube. Okay, how about that? Could that be a possible truth? There's a lot of videos out there about how to make money with your truck and just, getting rich with your truck. I don't know. Is it real? It's out there. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying, is it possible that is a contributing factor? Because if you think you're going to get 5 cars on your 3-car wedge every time, think again. In fact, I know some guys, it's never happened. And that's why we also talk about the imaginary 4-car trailer. Car hauling is my dream. Good luck getting insurance. Really? Is that real? Well, based on the fact that we see a flipped over wedge trailer, I think every industry news segment I've had a flipped over wedge trailer. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Why shot no picnic at all? Thumbs up button. Thank you, Tracy. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. And then you have just random craziness. That's bad. That looks like I think that's a Stinger with an X Stinger. Richard Brand Insurance VP, he was sharing today 5,700 views, 19 reshares on this truck insurance related article. Rise in truck crashes, large payouts expected to boost insurance. Can you read that? I'm going to read that again. Whoa, Jay, that was really, really close up there. Rise in truck crashes, large payouts expected to boost insurance. And in case you don't already personally know, it's going up. This year, the rates are going up. Beware and prepare. Tractor trailer insurance rates saw an uptick this year brought on by a rise in truck crashes and massive settlements and judgments. That's the thing. We only see the crash. We are not sitting in the law office as the hammer comes down. And everyone's got to get out their checkbook. What's happening is the fear of those judgments is increasing all the offers at mediation, right? Let's not go to court. Just go ahead and hand me millions of dollars. There's no need to go to court and hand over me hundreds of millions of dollars. And so the average claim statistics show gone from $1 million to about $2 million. That's Tommy Rook. He's been on the show. MCIEF, Motor Carriers Insurance Education Foundation. So what is your view on driver shortage? Well, there's all kinds of views. I don't know, it's a myth, It might better be described as a pay shortage. I've said that one. It's primarily a function of carriers' difficulties retaining drivers. We're definitely going to talk about that one. Hard to fill open spots. Regulatory constraints. Man, and the FMCSA just keeps on coming. And then you get the younger generation that all they want to do is sit around and play Fortnite. I don't know. So I put this up here because I'm going to crush some dreams. Now, I'm not a dream crusher. I am a dreamer. I got a YouTube show about car hauling. Clearly, I'm a dreamer. And somebody probably wants to crush my dreams. But I'm telling you that you got to know this stuff. All right. So these are real communications that I've had. My buddy's been doing it for the past 2 years, and all he has is a central dispatch account, and he wants to sell me his business. Okay, that's you're dreaming, I think. Hello, I'm interested to start 3-car hauling because my business is getting slow. Is it worth doing 1 and 2 car enclosed, 3-car open, flatbed? Okay, well, all right, I know that's research. That's still just research, but here's another one. Hello, greetings. I want to open a business. I have the trailer and a truck. I want to know what I need to do to carry everything correctly. There is a lot to learn. But hey, this is a willing and able person. Maybe they could go be a company driver. I'm just asking the question. I know. Hi, Jay. I'm looking to start a car hauling business. Research shows I need a truck and a trailer. Any other recommendations? I got a name. I know I need insurance, and I'm researching other requirements. You know what's going to be really... When he finds out the insurance quote, man, that's going to be gnarly. It's not going to be good. Seen your videos on YouTube, currently setting up to haul cars. And I was wondering if you had any suggestions on a dispatcher. So you get that one a lot. I got a truck, I got a trailer, all I need is a dispatcher. And I get it. I was a dispatcher, and this is why I'm sharing this. This is why I'm crushing these dreams. All right. Here's the deal, is that when I was a dispatcher, when I started, that's what I thought too. Get a truck, get a trailer, get a dispatcher, bada bing, bada boom. And I've learned the hard way that that's not exactly the way it works. And I know, because booking loads on Central day after day made me crazy. I was crazy before that. My name is blank. I'm getting ready to start car hauling. I want to thank you for the info. I haven't set up my account yet. I'm waiting to get my trailer. I'm telling you, it goes on and on. It just keeps going. I live in Florida. I want to start on this venture. It seems to be very lucrative. Definitely watching YouTube videos. Well, where would you get the idea this is lucrative? Not that it's not, by the way. It's just that it's like people that open a restaurant, first 2 years, you're scraping by. Hey, brother, want to know? I'm telling you, they keep going. And there's research being done. I mean, area, trucks, trailers. I'm 24. I want to start. I'm in the process of getting quotes. Might have been the last time I heard from them. Oh, whoa, look at this. But I got quoted for $70,000 a year with cargo. Holy mackerel. It can't be right? I'm located in blank. I got a CDL. What trailer's the best? How much do you charge for dispatching? I'm trying to get I know, right? This is how God feels. Trying to answer the mail. It's like, whoa, really? I'm trying to get into car hauling. I hear you can make $4 to $6 grand a week. I've just heard it, that's what I heard on YouTube. How long? Now this is an interesting one. How long does it take to get on with blank? Update. Apparently I was overqualified. They said they want an experienced hauler door swinger so they could train them their way. Now this is a guy that trained at a company and was unhappy. So I wonder how many of those there are. Thanks for wasting 3 weeks of my time. I'm officially an ex-car hauler. Okay. All right. So now we got some actual news. That was a lot, right? That's like speed round. No way. Really? Yeah, really. By the way, AB5 doesn't apply to trucking. That's great news. What else we got? Oh, this bridge is open. Don't you love it when construction is done? Oh, thank goodness, man. Get the construction out of here. Carvana is growing. Wait, is this car hauling? I don't know. Is it? I think so. I think that Carvana actually has stingers running short routes to other stingers, and then those cars get the final mile. Don't tell me that final mile car shipping is not car hauling. Okay, maybe it doesn't fit the definition of a car hauler, but that's car shipping, man. Car hauling, car shipping, I don't know. Car moving. To announcement, Carvana, look at this. This is great. Carvana now offers as soon as next day vehicle delivery. As soon as... We're confident they'll embrace the ease and convenience. Really? Oh, yeah, man, totally. And then pretty soon it'll be same day, and then next hour. And then Delta Automotive Services is hiring. We're talking about driver recruitment. This is an ad. You got a phone number. There's somewhere you can go. And by the way, there are many fleets recruiting. And how do you get that information? Where do you see it? Where do you find the fleet recruiting at? Let me know. Ziggy Keller, okay, guys and gals, website autotransporteverything.com gets about 300 hits a day currently. This website is free. We have over 1,250 members on the site. It's good to know. Autotransporteverything.com, there is a lot there. That is my favorite Facebook thread to look at and watch. I mine it. I look at it every day. It's great stuff. Oh, here's more good news. Auto Transport Intel says that Dispatch Center Loadborne Truckify app Part 2 video is up. So you got to check that out. That is really good news. Let's see if we got more good news here. Oh, we got January 31st, Glowstone Trucking Solutions Compliance Conference. You can go get signed up. Go to glowstone.com. Get signed up for the conference, because here's more good news. Auto Transport Intel is a media sponsor of Glowstone Trucking Solutions. Thank you, Glowstone. That's awesome. And thanks for it's free information. Go get some. Car Global's got an announcement. Trade Rev and Odessa have combined under the Car Global banner. That's pretty good info. What else? Oh, check this out. I love this stuff. This is crazy. 14 car companies control 54 brands. Man, get your phones out and take a picture of that. You can study that on your while you're finishing your pizza. Let me tell you, there's a lot. There's a lot right there. Oh, hey, Ready Logistics has a survey out. Have you guys taken this? The Ready Logistics survey? Go take it. Let them know how you feel. Anyone know when UCR is due? Brian Riker says it's definitely on hold until the FMCSA sets the new rates for 2020. But you can file for free. Oh, he says don't fall for those scam messages from shady companies that say offering to do it for $199. You can do it for free at ucr.gov. Go do it. Let's see, CarMax hours. This guy found out the hard way that he couldn't deliver on Saturday, even though the broker told him so. Bummer. Lore's got a 4-car hauler. Oh, let's see. Okay, we got Car Shipio, Vin Carrier, Run Buggy, Super Dispatch. So it's a good thing Auto Transport Intel is here to help post helpful videos and find software, because, you know, I looked at Super Dispatch, Car Shipio, Car Delivery Network. I'm just not sure where to go. Jay, do you have any recommendations on good software? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. So here's what you can do. Go check out the Auto Transport Software Update Q4 2019 1-hour video. Really? You don't have an hour to spend, Jay? No, I don't have, dude, I don't have time for that. Even if it is 30 plus companies reviewed, the most comprehensive auto transport software update reviewed ever in the history of auto transport software. Okay, you don't have time, that's fine. Go watch the top 12 car hauling load boards video. Just type it in, top 12 car hauling load boards. You will find, I guarantee, you will find this video informative. And then don't miss the video description. It's basically a full blog post. I give all the URLs and information. Check that out. So yeah, if you're tired of, auto shipping quotes, let's see. What's he got? North Carolina and Norfolk for $200. Dude, don't reply when telling him how terrible that load is. Go to top 12 car hauling load boards and make your life easier. Oh, market price, sir. Already gone. Our phones ring off the hook. Okay, cool story. It's hilarious. Let's see. Brad Childs is talking about, okay, great article highlighting the serious issues in our industry. Getting inventory to car dealerships can cause headaches. This is an article that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes in the Information Superhighway. It definitely has a lot to do with what we're talking about. By the way, what is a car hauler? Car hauler is a guy expected to put anywhere from 6 to 11 motor vehicles in a box 75 feet long, 13.5 feet high. The box is about 3 times the size of a normal house garage, sides of which the average motorist finds himself scraping from time to time. On newer equipment types, he places his 195 linear feet of cargo in his 75-foot container by manipulating 23 valves, activating 46 hydraulic cylinders, which in turn place head ramps, cantilevers, stands, and decks in position to complete the loading puzzle. He's working with tolerances which consider 3 inches all kinds of room, and he practices his art in all kinds of weather. That is what a car hauler is. It is it's a tall order. But at Fine Line Transportation, you will find great car haulers. At Larrick's Towing and Transport, you will find great car haulers. I really do appreciate Ziggy at IATA for helping me put together a great interview show tonight with Derek and John. Derek of Fine Line and John of Larrick's. They're going to be on the show here shortly. We're going to go into the information superhighway. It's going to be brief because I really got to get to the interview. So do me a favor, guys. Hang around for 5 more minutes. We're going to be right back. You are not going to want to miss this.
Superflow Systems is excited to introduce DispatchCenter.com, a full-service load board for brokers, shippers, carriers, and drivers, featuring integrations with Truckify mobile app and iTruckPay. Use Route Scout technology to build your routes. Maximize truck capacity. Stay loaded at the highest available revenue with the least amount of driving miles. Tell us your lanes. Loadification will alert you to new loads posting in your route. Views instant load notifications sent with Book Now features. Search and book loads directly through the Truckify mobile app. Brokers and shippers, post your loads to Dispatch Center. Give authorized carriers the opportunity to instantly book your loads. Dispatch Center powers the Truckify mobile app, allowing instant load assignment to the driver. Truckify will send inspection reports, geo-located pickup and delivery photos, BOLs, and invoices back to the broker. Brokers, shippers, carriers, and drivers, Dispatch Center, and Truckify have what you need to be more profitable every day.
Insane information, right? I mean, just like spewing information. Anyways, we're not even close to getting started. That's my favorite part. We're 30 minutes in. I'm just a few minutes behind. Guys, let's do this. Let's go into the information superhighway. Listen, is there a car hauler shortage? All right. That's what this show is all about. We know there's a lot of people that want to be car haulers, and we know there's a lot of car hauling fleets that are talking about how they either have a shortage or it's difficult to keep retention or recruiting is ongoing. How do we know this? All right. Here's how we know this. So I mentioned this article just a few minutes ago. This is what started me thinking about tonight's show. Now, I was reading this article in Ward's Auto. Can you see that okay? Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to 150%. Okay. So in Ward's Auto, reading this article, now Jim Lehman, I've talked to Jim, and he put this article together, great article, and it's talking about how basically it's tough for dealers and retailers to get the cars on their lots in reasonable time so that they aren't losing money on interest and they can get these cars sold, right? And so here's the thing. What's interesting is that it's normal for a turnaround. The driver's delivery turnaround takes longer than what the dealer expects. The dealer expects 3 to 5 days. And unfortunately, that is not being met all the time. The ideal is a 3 to 5 day time, T2L. That is what a dealer needs to keep his costs down, turn this car around, and remain profitable. And it's not happening often enough. Now, why is it not happening often enough? Well, in December, this was a big article in Automotive Logistics. Anybody who reads Automotive Logistics, finished vehicle logistics, if you go to the trade shows, if you keep up with Ultima Media and finished vehicle logistics, this is an ongoing story. It's been going on for years. And one of the quotes comes from the American Trucking Associations, where the industry as a whole, again, they're short by 60,000 drivers at the end of 2018. We're going to need 110,000 new drivers to enter these are huge numbers where they're talking there's a shortfall. And then, that's Guy from AHA and Joe from Accelerated. It's a great article with great information. But the question is, how can this be the case? How can there be such a shortage when, in fact, some people sniff this out. Here's an article: the truck driver shortage is fake. All right, fake news. So he's writing about, and he's looking at the same numbers that are given, but offering explanations of why this isn't true. And actually, this goes back into that slide where I talked about, the question of are younger drivers are they unwilling to do the job? Are they just not being offered enough pay? Is the training not right? Do people want to be owner-operators, etc.? So that is, in a nutshell, the argument setting up what we're going to be talking about tonight. That was a super fast information superhighway. Hopefully it was informative, because here's what we're going to do. Oh, by the way, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the CTS Business Coaching question of the day, which you guys know this question: is there a driver shortage? I want to know what you think. Wait, where did Jay go? What's going on here? Yeah, I want to know what you think. Do you think there's a driver shortage? Is there a car hauler shortage? Is this an actual problem, a perceived problem, or what is going on here? I want to know what you think. Here's what we're going to do. While you're thinking about that, while you're posting your answers in the live chat, we're going to bring in Derek from Fine Line Transportation. We're going to bring in John from Larrick's Towing. You are not going to want to miss this. Stick around. We're going to be right back. IATA stands for Independent Auto Transporters Alliance. Visit the website, iata.biz. The mission: driving auto transport business together. Drivers, managers, owners, carriers, networking and sharing best practices. IATA provides access to suppliers with discounts. That's right, discounts. IATA, always working to make the car shipping industry better. IATA, something we can all be proud of. If you're a carrier and you're interested in joining IATA, visit the website, iata.biz. Click on Become a Member. Follow the register and checkout process. Got questions? Click Contact Us on the website.
Are you completely stressed out from all the...
Hey, Murphy Auto, we already ran your ad. Hey, what's going on? Hey, guys, thank you guys so much for sticking around. This is Auto Transport Intel Tuesday Nights Live, the car hauler shortage, retention, and recruiting show. And so right now I've got Derek from Fine Line Transportation. He's dialing in. And then we got John from Larrick's Towing and Transport. He's also dialing in, so they're going to be here in a minute. But until then, I saw there's a lot of live chat. I missed a lot of live chat here in the past, 10, 15 minutes. Time goes really fast. Let's see. Rob's talking about loading issues. Hey, what's up, Worldwide Used Car Guy Limited Company? Thank you for tuning in, saying hello. I do appreciate it. Oh, here we go. We've got Derek, right?
John.
Okay, well, there's Derek. John, we got John and Derek.
Derek, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Hey, guys.
Here we take a deep breath.
Dude. Oh, thank you. I need that sound. I get pretty wound up. I have so much information. I'm trying to squeeze in it drives me crazy. You can tell, right? It's too much. So thank you, guys.
How are you?
Thank you.
How are you talking to us and talking to them at the same time?
So thanks for the question. All right, here's what's going on. So you called into a Zoom video meeting software, online software. Okay, so we are actually having an online Zoom video meeting that I've put inside of my YouTube live stream. Did I lose you?
Okay, we're good.
I'm here.
Okay. All right, so we're here. Okay, so I want to say welcome to Auto Transport Intel Tuesday Nights Live. We have John from Larrick's Towing and Transport. We have Derek Hopkins from Fine Line Transportation. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
Yeah, thanks for having me also, Jay.
I really appreciate it. I know you guys are busy, and I know that we're talking about driver shortage, driver retention, driver recruitment. I'll start with this. Driver shortage. We hear it. People get asked about it. This has been an ongoing topic for years. What are we supposed to think? Is it there? Is this a simple issue? I don't know.
Well, it's definitely there. The problem is there's not a lot of the younger generation getting in the car hauling. It's just there's not people willing to learn how to haul cars. I guess there is people eager to drive a truck and, they think they're going to make the big bucks, but just this generation, there's not a lot of younger drivers coming into it, trucking in general, as there used to be, let alone car hauling.
And what I see happening is a lot of times we'll see somebody that's coming up out of the towing field or something that's basically starting to move cars and maybe goes into a wedge or something, and then they want to move up. But the hardest part is getting them trained on a 10 car, or getting them to learn how to load a car carrier and be able to put the puzzle together to put the cars onto the vehicle.
So okay, so I'm going to try and partition a couple issues. Number one, training is hard.
I could tell you off the bat, anyone that we get calls all the time. We just do not have a training program available. The way our workflow goes, we don't have a lot of work where we can put somebody on and are doing a lot of loading versus driving. I kind of learned, John referenced the towing, like I started in towing. I started driving a rollback, then I drove a 4-car, and then my boss at the time got a 7-car trailer. He didn't know how to load it. We kind of taught ourselves, and then once it came to like a 9-car, I was kind of like 10-car. I was kind of thrown in it, and I leaned on people that I knew, like kind of a small network. And they, I would see them at auctions, or, I would like take in everything I could at the time. But it seems to me like there's just not a lot of the people that are like go-getters willing to, they just want to come in and earn the big bucks right off the bat.
Right. And so I'm going to, go ahead, please, John.
No, and I think that one of the problems too is that, our insurance companies are not willing to let us bring somebody in doesn't have an experience at all, and give them a chance to even try to train them and stuff. Right away they want to make sure that they have driving experience and they have a clean CDL, and that's a big factor also when you're trying to bring somebody up, because you figure if you're going to bring somebody up and they don't want to make a lot of money in the beginning, they want to learn. The insurance companies aren't going to let that happen. So that's one of our problems also.
So exactly. So the problems begin. That's why I came up with I've got on the wheel of topics tonight, I've got 12 line items. I was trying to partition these things. But number one, training is hard. Number two, we talked about how, people want to just be the owner, make the big bucks. And then number three, there's the liability and insurance problems. And these are 3 separate problems. They're tied together. But on the training issue, I want to clarify, is there no place to get good training then? Is there no location, group, organization, program?
Well, there was a car hauling school in Florida for a while.
Right.
And I don't know the exact reasons why it failed, but there is a company around Pennsylvania that is they're talking about starting one with a technical school. So that's a good start. Supposedly the person that will be teaching them used to haul cars and they know about trucks. And car hauling, a lot of it is like common sense. And mechanical stuff or just thinking it through. That's my opinion on it. I mean, like John said, the insurance thing is a big issue. Some people, get experience driving, and they don't want to venture out into something. A lot of times, I know a lot of people have come from flatbedding. I guess that's the closest thing to car hauling, driving a truck, the concepts. But you would think nowadays with wheel straps and everything that's come into this industry, there'd be a lot more a lot more drivers. Like before, you used to have to know where the tie downs were and how to chain them, what hooks to use. That's all out of the equation now. All it is throw wheel straps over it, and it's still hard. I don't know. I'm just at a loss why. When I started, there was a lot of younger people around in the industry, and I can tell you, there's not really many qualified drivers that come across my desk that are younger than 35 years old at this point.
And where I find out that happens with Jay, where training, a lot of the bigger companies do. They do training. They'll bring somebody in and put them with another driver. But those guys are all local. You don't see them doing, basically what we do is long haul, where these other companies are sending guys out every day and stuff. And they do. I can honestly tell you that some of the bigger companies out there do have some training schools and stuff, but it's really hard on them. They train these guys, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of times they get trained, they stay with them for a little while, and they end up leaving and going to another company.
And that leads into retention, right? You've trained them, and now they went somewhere else.
Right.
That happens a lot.
Yes. Yeah, that's a terrible problem, right? Because you've just invested in somebody, and they left.
And I've heard there's certain companies, if you train with them, you have to sign a contract that you're going to stay a year, 2 years. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I hear.
That's what temp agencies do.
Right.
I mean, you.
I mean, they should.
Leave.
I mean, they're investing.
Yeah.
A lot of money in the people. They're having a senior driver that knows what they're doing. I mean, let's be honest. You probably need a good month with somebody doing 2 loads a day before you really get comfortable in a Stinger tractor. Different load combinations, getting in and out of, dealerships aren't the easiest thing to get into.
Forget about it. Yeah, exactly. There are so many, and that's the thing is, whether it's a wheel strap or a complicated undercarriage chain situation, there are so many factors way beyond just strapping down the car, right, that make this really hard to learn and do well.
But what Derek was saying is true now. Nowadays, the manufacturers won't even let us use any chains at all.
Yeah,
Everything's got to be wheel strapped.
Exactly. I know that as a dispatcher. So my role, I never drove, I never loaded, but I was a dispatcher for years. And I really felt the pain of the driver on the phone. As crazy as that sounds, I really did. I felt as much pain from the driver as I possibly could, just trying to keep them loaded off of load boards. And so, I mean, I know that, yeah, nobody will accept you can't have chains anymore. I mean, most brokers you sign up with, I'm sure with your OEM, whoever you're working for, they don't want to hear the word chains.
Not at all. Nowadays, it's done. They see you with chains on the truck, they're not even gonna let you out of the gate.
Right, I've heard that too. Right, exactly, like at a GM plant. Sure, yeah. No, they don't want to hear it. You can't even. In fact, I've heard that you have to take your jacket off so the zippers don't scratch the paint. I mean, right? There's all kinds of ways and things you have to know to be a savvy car hauler. Here's a question I have for you. So if you need to work your way up through the ranks, I mean, that makes sense. That's how a lot of jobs are. Do you have some smaller trailers that folks could, build up experience on before they get to the Stinger?
I mean, we don't. We everything we have is a 9 or a 10 car carrier.
Okay.
I have one 5-pack that does local deliveries around, the Philly area, New Jersey, whatnot. But all our trucks are 9 and 10 car carriers. So I mean, John has more smaller trucks where he can maybe graduate somebody up.
Right.
Yeah, we've taken some of our guys and put them in a flatbed and stuff. We've taught them on a flatbed so they know how to do. They learn how to do inspection reports. They know how to go into the dealership and present themselves. And then from there we can move them into a 5-pack. That kind of gives them an idea how to use straps, how to load them up, and that's hauling. That's putting 5 cars on the truck. And then from there we're hoping at that point that they'll move up into a Stinger, but. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes these guys just find out it's not for them. We've lost some real good drivers that have just said, look, I don't want to haul cars no more, that they'd rather go out and drive a dump truck, So it all depends. But we try really hard here to move them up the best we can.
So let's talk about folks that they want to start their own business. They're looking for the big money, etc. I don't want to couch it like it's not valid. It's valid. Everybody has their valid feelings and dreams and aspirations. But there's got to be some folks that just on its face would be better off being a company driver or working their way up before just jumping and starting a business. There has to be.
I mean, I think that's most of people, like I worked for somebody in car hauling 10 years before I started my own business. And I watched what I kind of taught myself, but I watched what other friends that we work with did and saw things that happened and maybe mistakes that were made. But, nowadays it's with the insurance. Insurance is the number one thing, like they're really cranking down on new entrants, with insurance and everything. Like it's a big risk to take to just jump in there. I don't know how to haul cars. Let me go buy my own truck and, I'm going to haul cars and make a bunch of money. Like I was nervous after, like I said, working for somebody else for 10 years, doing it myself. And, I saw a lot of mistakes happen before that. I kind of had a lot of knowledge, and it was still tough getting up and off the ground, and where am I going to get money to pay fuel and everything else, so like, I don't know. I kind of like, it's definitely good advice to work for somebody else first. I've had drivers come here and, work for, 2-3 years. They went and bought their own truck, went on their own. I've had other guys go buy their own truck, lease it to me. Definitely I would not recommend, it's not going to hurt working for somebody for a year, 2 years, 3 years first to kind of get the lay of the land before you just jump in with 2 feet.
Right, and I feel the same way. I feel that they've got to try it. They got to make sure that it is for them, because it takes a certain person to be a car hauler. And like I said, I saw Derek. I knew Derek when he worked for the other company, and I know that him and Cindy, they invested a lot of money into just getting started alone, and that was a big leap right there. And all you got to do is have a couple little mishaps, and or your truck breaks down, you can't afford to fix it, or price of fuel goes crazy, or freight just disappears, and you're going to be done. You're going to be out of business before you know it. So it's a big chance to take to start on your own, but some people do it. Some people start out small. They keep their equipment down. They keep their overhead down, but it's not easy.
That's the thing, is it's not what's wild from where I'm sitting. It's not some, it's a lot. A lot of people are still, and that's why I was showing that in industry news. I mean, I get a lot of people letting me know that they're working on starting a business. They appreciate the information, and I'm glad to bring the information. And that's actually, I'm trying to bring all the information, which from all accounts that I'm seeing, insurance is going to get to the point where you can't even get it. Like you can't. It's gonna be a highly valued, rare commodity, I think.
Well, even trucking in general, the way they're dishing out, lawsuits, and I read something a few days ago where there's, every year you hear another insurance company's leaving the market of trucking. And, I read something where there was a big insurance company leaving. They said, there hasn't been a profit in 10 years
That's right.
in insurance for them.
That's exactly right. MCIEF, Motor Carriers Insurance Education Foundation. If you talk to that group, they'll let you know that's exactly right. They haven't made money in years. And
but do you know the problem comes in trucking in general, where they have your certain liability limits, but then let's say there's an accident, there's not even a fatality. Like the way they're dishing out money, these courts nowadays and they're going above what the insurance company has. And
right,
there's no mandate. There's a certain mandate from the government, but the courts are dishing out money way and above beyond what that mandate is.
And I want to, well, I'm glad you said that. I want to clarify what I said. It's not that insurance companies, individuals in the business haven't made money, but the reserve that is required, it's like we have a Federal Reserve, the reserve required to make sure that every dollar out can be recouped. They have to keep raising that because of these larger and larger settlements and lawsuits. 300 million court settlements.
It's getting to be a big problem. A lot of bigger companies or OEMs that you work for, like they want you to have a $3 to $4 million umbrella on top of what by the government to begin with, just to step in the door to haul for them, because they don't want the reserve to run out and then the person turn around and sue them. So these are all things you're dealing with that you weren't dealing with 7 years ago, 5 years ago. I've heard a couple people in the last month tell me that they've got their renewals and, they're like, oh, we haven't had any claims and we're getting $10,000, more than we paid last year. It's just insane the way, and what are you going to do? You're either going to close your business or you're going to pay it. You don't really, there's not a lot of competition in the insurance industry for, trucking, or car hauling, forget it. There's only so many companies that write it. And pretty much they mess it up for themselves because they were, 7 years ago, you could start a company and just, boom, get insurance and then go out and wreck a bunch of things and fold the company, and who's left holding the bag? Well, the insurance company, where are they going to get their money back? They're going to, get it from the people that are still in the trucking industry.
That's right. And so the people that are still in business are the ones that have to make sure there's still money in the pool. And we know this is true because every insurance we have, whether it's medical, car, home, we look around and we see all insurance is always going up all the time. It seems that way. But in relation, it looks like trucking is off to the races to win the race.
Right. Well, like Derek said, if you look at some of the companies that are folding down, they're saying that the reason why they're closing up is because they can't afford the increases in insurance.
So, this is a perfect time to discuss, and I know I sound like a dream killer, and I put it out there, but there has got to be a majority of folks that are ready to start a car hauling business that are going to find it impossible to make those payments in that first year. Truck, trailer, insurance, and then getting the experience and all the certifications and everything that goes with it. A certain amount of those folks are going to be better off becoming company drivers, on the job training. How does that message get out there? Because I don't know if that message is out there. That's why I'm doing this episode.
I think what you're
I
doing
think a lot of people look at what you make hauling a dry van or a reefer and then compare it to car hauling, and they see, oh, they get this much per mile, but they don't factor in other things like you just said, insurance, deadhead, damages. I mean, it's a lot easier to damage a car than it is if you have a dry van and somebody's loading and unloading you. Like these are all things that there's a lot of other things in car hauling that people don't see. They just see, oh, this load pays this, where, if you took a dry van, like, oh, it pays $1.80 per mile. But if I'm getting $2.60 a mile hauling cars, that's big bucks. But at the end of the day, that's not big bucks. Like, at $2.60 a mile, if you're doing everything right, you might make some money, but you have a big breakdown, then it's all goes down the drain.
Actually, I find it incredibly frustrating how I think that trucking, car hauling, we were behind on software as far as the rest of the world is concerned. I think we're also behind on reality of where your money goes in respect to the rest of the world. Because there's all these folks dumping all this money out on seats and envelopes, and there's money coming out of their ears. We haven't gotten to the bills yet. Right? Is it me?
Well, wait until they have to get road service on the truck or replace a tire. That's when they're going to wake up real quick, because, it's just, we're out there. Especially if it's somebody that hasn't been in business that long, they don't even know who to call. You're out there, you got to keep the truck up to, to date. And you're always replacing straps. Like I said, one of our biggest things is tires, I
was just saying, the amount of money that a truck driver spends on tires, just hauling a 3 or 4 car trailer, they wouldn't believe it.
No, they won't. And the problem is when they find out, it's way too late. But the problem is we can sit there and we can tell them that this is what's going to happen, but sometimes they just don't. It's almost like they don't believe us, like we don't want them in business. We want them in business. We want them to learn.
Yes.
But our whole thing was like myself and Derek are both saying, work for somebody first. Make sure it's what you want to do. Save some money. Make sure you got some decent money in the bank. So when you do start up, you're not going to get put out of business within 6 months, because your renewal is going to come up. Like Derek said, all you need is a couple of damage claims, and all of a sudden the insurance company's not going to rewrite you the next time. And now you invested all this money into the equipment. What are you going to do? Give it back to the bank? That's the hardest part of business.
Well, and that's when it goes. Then you'll take cents on the dollar, because you got to sell and you got to pay off whatever bills you've got. It's an unpopular intervention. That's what I think. That's what I think I should title this segment. I know this is bad news, but it pains me to see so many people really get their dreams crushed, out on the road in the middle of nowhere.
But then again, there's other people out there, Jay, that they fall into it. And they're really good people. They're good business people, and they can make it happen. So I guess it all depends on what kind of business you do and how you do it.
Well, and it can be done. And that's why, there's both sides. So here's what we're going to do. Do me a favor, guys. Stick around. I want you to join the live panel. I'm going to bring in Ty, Candy, and Don. And we're going to do a 6-person live panel. We're going to go through some of these individual topics. So please do stick around. We're going to be right back, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Hey, guys. Jay at Auto Transport Intel here. Listen, don't wait until it's too late to get FMCSA and DOT compliant. You need to take care of that right away. The best way to do that is to go visit my friend Brian Riker at Fleet Compliance Solutions. Now, you can go to Fleet Compliance Solutions LLC, or you can also visit him at yourdotguy.com. And here he's got services to help you out, whether you're a single owner operator or a fleet. You can contact him and ask him you can get US DOT compliant, applying for your authority right off, or if you're going to be audited, you're going to need help. And he helps you make sure that you navigate the DOT and be fully compliant when you're going through your safety audit. Also, he can help out with safety training, coaching, OSHA, environmental concerns, help you protect your CDL. You can visit him and his staff. Go to fleetcompliantsolutions.net or yourdotguy.com. Talk to Brian. If you need an expert witness, if you're going to end up in court over a problem, you're going to need some help, and he can help represent you. There are links here. Find out more about Fleet Compliance Solutions. And also, he's got articles and information. If you've got specific questions, you can contact him at 570-228-6210. And I highly encourage you to visit Fleet Compliance Solutions LLC, yourdotguy.com. Tell him ATI sent you. Brian is a friend of the show. Thanks. Okay, and we're back on Auto Transport Intel Tuesday nights live. I'm back we have John from Larrick's Towing and Transport and Derek from Fine Line Transportation. You guys still there?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm here, Jay.
Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, so here's what we're doing is we got invitations have been sent out to Ty from CTS Business Coaching, Don from 929 Transport, Candy from Jacksport Storage. Looks like Don is with us. He's tuning in. Hey, Don, can you see me and hear me okay? And he's getting his settings right. Don, I can see you. And yeah. I think, okay, perfect. So Don is with us. Don, thanks for joining us on the show tonight. Oh, let me move
no problem.
So how am I doing? Am I crushing dreams? Am I providing information? What's the temperature?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I don't know. I just got on here.
Okay.
I was outside working on the boat, and I was like, "Oh shit! I gotta be back in there at 10 o'clock." I literally just walked in, grabbed a pickle, and sat down. Man, sorry,
dude. Sometimes that's what you have to do. That's awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
And Candy from Jacksport Storage, she is tuning in. Candy, can you hear us? Okay. Okay, she'll be with us here in a second. By the way, so I used to dispatch for Don. That's how Don and I met. And Don, you were in my very first Auto Transport Intel video.
Yep.
Yeah. And do you currently hire? I know you have in the past.
Yeah, I just hired new guys, but I'm hiring locally, so it's a whole different arena. Over the road was definitely a little bit tougher market. I guess one of the things I ran into with the over the road thing is that there's not a lot of people out there that want to do it, So, and then the ones that want to do it, you got to be able to trust them when they're 1,000 miles away because they got to be self-disciplined. So it's really tough to get over the road guys. Where locally, my guys are 45 minutes at the furthest from me, and I kind of can supervise them. So it's a little easier. Everybody wants to work locally.
That is a good point. Hey, Derek or John, what about the local? Do you have local guys too, or is everybody over the road? Other than that 5-pack you talked about.
Me, I have one guy that's kind of local, and I have about 6 or 7 guys that are regional. They 400 or 500 miles away. They're home, during the week sometimes, and they're home every weekend. But they're might be home 1 or 2 nights a week. So not really.
Yeah, and I've got 5 local guys that work local, and then I have, same as Derek, we're up and down the East Coast, out to Kansas City area, Detroit area. So I got 11 trucks that are running that part out there, and like I said, I got 5 that work locally in New York, New Jersey area.
Would you say that people wanting to be local, is that a factor in getting people to work?
Makes it easy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we get guys that call and they want to be, home every night or home 3 nights a week and every weekend, and that just doesn't fit our freight lane.
And I've got a couple employees too that's the same way. They'd rather stay local. They'd rather do like Manheim or, run within Jersey, Pennsylvania, and still be home. But the good thing about them is if I need them to run to Florida, they will run. But they'd rather not do it all the time if they don't have to.
Ty, Candy, can you guys see us and hear us okay?
Good.
Yeah.
You're good? Okay. So great. So, hey, guys, listen. This is great. Everybody's here. This is now, hopefully, this is the info and the tainment all wrapped up in one. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the Wheel O topics. Now, I'm not trying to, this isn't something ludicrous, but it's a way to keep it interesting and cover information. So I've got a spinner of 12 topics, I don't know if you can see this or not. Some of you can see this, some of you can't. You're also, I don't know if you're going to hear the wheel, but the audience is going to hear it. So I'm going to spin the wheel, and we're going to go into a topic, and I'm going to put 5 minutes on the buzzer. You guys ready? I know, it's kind of crazy, but it works. This is car hauling.
Let it go.
Here we go.
All right, we got driver retention. We got 5 minutes on the buzzer. Driver retention. Who wants to kick off? Everyone's got their hands on their buzzers, I can see. Now somebody hit your buzzer and start talking about driver retention. Otherwise, I'll have to, and I was just a dispatcher.
Well, I'll start. Driver retention is something I look at every year. What can I do this year that I haven't done before to keep drivers working here and not going somewhere else? I mean, there's things we've implemented, first was health benefits, second was quality bonuses, then it goes on to, they already had vacation and time off, but then it goes on to, 401k, like a good 401k, like we offer 401k with 5% match. But I think the biggest thing for driver retention with me is we talk to every driver. If driver has a concern, they can come in, or speak to me or whoever, or, the equipment, top of the line equipment, giving them all the tools they need to be successful, things like that. You're trying to compete with the bigger companies out there that offer all these things. But for me, my biggest thing with driver retention is probably that, I can sympathize with the driver. I've been there. I've, done that. I would never ask a driver to do anything I wouldn't do. That to me is my biggest draw point and word of mouth. Drivers that work for me currently or drivers that used to work for me. Like, it's very hard. There's drivers out there, no matter what you do, you're not going to keep them. They're going to try to jump to the next best thing. But you have other drivers they're loyal and they've been there with you through the wars and the up and the down times and everything, and they're happy. And that's the biggest, for me, retention is like word of mouth.
But I like how you lined out some of those items those are really important to folks. Once they know their job and they're comfortable where they're at, if you can explain, the 401k, everybody's interested in that stuff, vacation. You're making me want to work there. So, looks like I'm actually going to start driving.
Yeah, right.
I heard, yeah, right.
I think the most important thing too under driver retention is what Derek was trying to say is that, we need to give them vacations. We need to get them out of the trucks. We're always there for them if they got something personally going on, that we make sure that we give them a hand, try to help them out there. And like I said, sometimes it's not always the money end of it. It's what, the family end of it too. And we see that happening a lot where, somebody will say to me, look, I got to get away with my wife. I got to do something like this. And, we go ahead and say, okay, guess, just give us a little time. We'll get you out there. We'll have you do what you got to do. But that's the hardest part. The hardest part, so everybody knows, is getting the truck back in, giving them their time off. But we try to take care of them as much as we possibly can.
That's really cool. Now, and that's totally true. I mean, trucking is a family industry. When you say over the road, it's no joke. What are some of your drivers that are over the road? How often are they home?
We try to get them home every 2 weeks.
Right, 2 weeks. For the wife, that's a long time.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, same with us. Most of our drivers are, 12 and 2. We do have some that run our regional route that are home every weekend and some during the week, but 3/4 of our drivers are on a 12 and 2 rotation.
12 and 2. Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, I think I appreciate, Derek, I appreciate you tackling that topic and diving in. If before we run out of time, anybody have any last thoughts on driver retention? Oh, Candy raised her hand. Candy.
Hey, I think it's important or a good aspect to look at teaching company drivers how to prepare themselves or if they want to become owner operators or lease operating programs to kind of teach them a different approach while they're driving as a company driver, to start offering direction as far as perspective to become an owner operator or lease operator. I think that might open up the door to better communication from company drivers that see themselves changing chairs soon.
Right.
And it may make them stay on longer and be more productive and better because they know that they're trying to do something else with it. And the upper management, they know that they're also trying to grow from it. I guess maybe in a sense it's creating your own competition, but it's really plenty of abundance with this.
Well, if you know that somebody came to you to grow and get experience with the goal and the hope to become their own business owner, then, I mean, you can't just ignore it. You have to address that and see if you can find a way to work within it as long as you can. I mean, again, that I brought up the temp company. That's how, when you're a temp at a temp company, you plan on leaving. That is the plan.
Or unless you're trying to get a job there.
I mean,
you would hope, though, Jay.
yeah,
You would
yeah.
hope
I've
that
had drivers that they want to. Go ahead, John.
No, it's the same thing. We've had drivers the same way, and we're hoping that they'll continue to work with us. You know, whether they lease onto us or do some, help us out with our overflow and stuff like that. Because hopefully they're still part of our team, and we can hold on to them. We don't want to lose them. We want to keep them within our circle here, which to me is very important.
And Anthony, I know I raised kind of
and that's exactly what I was.
Well, and I said something jarring, but I agree with you that if the company you are working for makes those efforts to stay within the network, well, you're not paying attention. If it's a good network, why would you just give it all up? But you've seen that too, or you've worked with somebody, you've helped raise them up, and they cut you off anyways, right?
Yeah, I've had that, but like John said, the biggest thing is if somebody's going to go. I've had guys go buy their own truck, and why should they go work for so and so? Like if they're a good driver and they have low damage and they're a hustler, like okay, all right, maybe you can take your truck and lease it here. Like don't go work for whoever. I'm not going to lose a good asset, still use them and keep them as part of our team. Like John said, like, what you have in them already. So, they can still work and they can be, grow their business and be successful and, grow, help your team be successful day in and day out. That's what I try to do. But there's some that have done that with me, and others is they just wanted to go and do it on their own. And, I let them be successful, hope for the best for them. And, there's plenty of guys that have went on their own and have, done work with me or given me work, return the favor, or you can't, you want as many allies out there as you can possibly have, whether they're on your team or, you work closely with them.
And I'd say that probably is the end note on driver retention is that, and I know one of you guys said this before, just don't burn bridges. I think we all eventually learn to burn less bridges, if none, right? And if we do, and sometimes we got to go repair that bridge, and that's hard too.
Well, I've always said that to people that left here, I said, please just do it the right way. If you're going to leave, you're going to go somewhere else. Don't make it bad. Don't be going after all of our customers. Don't, because it's going to get back to us and stuff. And most people respect that. That's why they'll work together with you. There's plenty of work for everybody, and I've always said that. But don't be spiteful. Don't start knocking on somebody else's door, especially since we spent the time with you. And we taught you this trade, and all we want is loyalty back out of you. That's all we're looking for.
Okay, here we go. I'm spinning this spinner. You guys ready? Okay. I know this is the exciting part of the show. Okay, we got the cost of a trailer. Now, I put the cost of a trailer up here because I think it's important to talk about the physical asset and all that goes into not just the purchase, maintaining it, but all the elements around it. Anybody want to hit the buzzer on the cost of a trailer?
Are we talking a 10 car? Are we talking, are we talking a 7-car Stinger?
Perfect.
I mean,
I'm glad you said that.
Wedge or what?
Let's go with 10 car. Let's go with yeah.
Okay, you're talking, $120,000 for one trailer.
Just make it 300. Add the truck because you're going to need the truck to go with the trailer. So just make it 300.
Yeah, it's 300. 310 now. I mean, every time we turn around, the price of steel's going up.
And that's just to get it to where you can get in it. Now what happens?
Oh, the startup cost and everything.
Right,
like I said, here you go with your insurance. I mean, there's guys that are probably paying to get started out with one truck. They're probably anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 just to get started.
Hey, Derek, are you guys running high rail or quick load?
We have been buying some quick loaders in the past year. Before that, mostly it was all high rails, but now the industry's changed, so we're changing with it reluctantly, but we are buying 80-foot quick loaders now.
I think just to throw it in on retention, I mean, one of the things I did years ago is I bought all the same one. Remember when they came out with the 7509?
Mm-hmm.
I just bought all those, and you could almost teach anybody how to load them.
Well, that's the thing now. There's a lot of drivers that don't know how to load a high rail, or older drivers. A high rail is not physically demanding on them. So you have to change with the times. And I mean, we still have a good niche for our high rails. We haul a lot of 10-car loads. Some drivers are reluctant to change out of it, but the 80-footer for me is what changed the whole game, converting over. There was a lot of loads you couldn't fit on a 7509, like you said, or the CX09, which was the strap version of a 75-foot, that you can now fit on an 80-footer. You can only fit on a high rail, but you can fit on an 80-foot quick loader. So for us, that was the game changer when they came out with the 80-foot rule. Me, I was a high rail guy. That's all I ever ran.
You're super old school.
Yeah. And the other problem is that everything went big again. I mean, all the big cars
That's
came
what I
back
was going to
again,
say.
So,
yep.
Yeah, so we had to change with the times. I mean, it's just you can't get all those pickup trucks and the SUVs on the trucks anymore.
Which I think has climaxed. I don't think it's going to keep going higher.
I hope for our sake you're right.
But I think the weight of the batteries is not going to stop. I mean, that they're going to have to decrease the weight of that. But anyways, yeah.
But even how much is a high mount 7-car trailer? I don't own one, but I think they're 80,000, 85,000 for.
No, with the high mounts we paid the last couple that I just got. We're at 90,000.
Oh, 90,000. Okay.
We're up to 90,000. Yeah.
Which one did you buy? CX08?
We went with a CX 07s.
07? Yeah, those are sweet.
Yeah.
Although, I was just thinking that Cybertruck, that thing is huge. If they keep building Cybertrucks, you're going to need bigger trailers. That's a joke. But do you see how big that Cybertruck is? The thing is enormous. It makes an Escalade look small.
Right.
And that's not something you want to hear when you're low on time.
Or heavy on weight.
Right, exactly. Right.
I don't know if we're ready. I don't know if we're ready for that curve yet.
So, and that's actually, I didn't put this in there, but I mean, the way vehicles are changing. Do you ever think about? Do you follow the way vehicles are changing, or do you just focus on your, the OEM customer you have and don't worry about the other styles? How do you approach that? Do you follow automotive news and changes and developments in vehicles? Do you think about that stuff?
I think both of us, myself and I know Derek, myself, we both do that. Plus, we also go to a lot of the conventions and stuff and keep on top of this to see, where the trend's going. But the problem, I think what happens is a lot of times it ends up being your customer, whose contract you got and what equipment you need to take care of that contract.
Right. Focus on, and again, as we're talking, I mean, it would seem to me it would be pretty prohibitive for a new car hauling business to try and get the business of an OEM for probably about a dozen reasons. So, an OEM needs a fleet rather than some, you couldn't be a startup and get OEM business. Anyways, I know I'm pointing out the obvious, but right now somebody's like, oh, I'm glad he said that because I was going to go for OEM. So that was for you, that one guy out there.
It really does happen.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. It has to.
I just want to haul new cars with my 1 ton and 3 cars. Is that okay?
Exactly.
The OEM's never going to let them do it anyway, so he can, you need to have equipment in order to do their work. So you're going to end up doing it for somebody else. That's how you're going to get that work. Yep, that's right.
Oh, we got Car Hauler Universities back up. So I think this is a great topic. Car Hauler University, yeah. So I know that Car Hauler University existed at some point, and it seemed like it was still maybe around. Derek, you were talking about this. You were talking about Car Hauler University in Florida, right, Derek?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you know how long it existed? Anything about that? And I think it was part of a trucking organization.
Yes,
it was part of the Auto Haulers Association. They
was it okay.
Kind of ground up, started from the ground up with it, and some companies donated equipment for it. I can't tell you why it failed. I think it was open for a year and a half, 2 years, John, maybe.
Yeah. And what happened was they were, they would just come to an employer and say, look, you want to send somebody down, and you would pay the money to send this guy down to the school. And the school was like a 2-week school, so they would teach him everything. Put the cars on the truck, taking them off, putting them on, driving around, doing everything. But for some reason, they couldn't get the companies to invest the money into the sending the employee down there and getting them schooled. And what we had heard too is that a lot of companies were saying, okay, guess what? We're sending this guy, we're sending him to school and everything. I don't know if they had a written contract with them, but they would lose him. They would spend all this money on the guy, and then he would find out it's not for him, or he would go to work for another company. So I think that's where the biggest problem with that happened. And I'm to be honest with you, some of these companies donated a lot of equipment. I know some of the manufacturers donated cars to try to make this happen, and they just couldn't get anybody to participate in it.
Candy's raising her hand. Candy, please.
Yeah, the school is down in Green Cove Springs, Florida, right below Jacksonville, that sponsored it or that housed it. And the location had a lot to do with it, too. I know a few people that wanted to go through the program. Proficient is one of the companies that sponsored equipment, and a lot of their drivers were there. But the program itself, it's the location, I thought it would do really good because it was through a community college, VOTEC type program. But I could not understand why they didn't do it right here in Jacksonville with our good community college VOTEC programs.
I like.
Yeah, we
yeah. Go ahead.
We did visit the school, and it was definitely off the beaten path. It was a nice facility, nice facility, but that's where you want to have it in Florida, where the weather's good most of all year except for the rain, and it definitely was in the middle of nowhere.
Shouldn't it be like next to a big auction or something? Or wouldn't that be a good spot? Maybe between an auction and a port.
or close to the
Well, I
airport,
think, like,
or
Well, I think like what Candy said, close to the port, if they had TWIC badges, you can go and observe it happening real time. I think would be a good point that she brought up.
Is it time to revisit this concept? Like, okay, so John, you were talking about a vocational school up in the Northeast, right? Did you mention that?
No,
Derek. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a great idea. So like, right, go to the college or vocational school that's already in the middle of developing programs rather than starting from the ground up. Right? It'd be like going to a high school science lab that already exists and setting up an additional lab. Anyways, it's be an adjunct of a mechanical school, right?
Well, they were trying to do this. I'm sorry. They were trying to do the same thing too with down there. They were trying to say with unemployment and everything, unemployment will help you get your license or help you get another career or something. And they were even trying to get funding from them to try to get some of these guys into the school. And they just couldn't get it to happen the way that they were trying to do.
Like, to me, they're after the wrong market.
What if you got an OEM involved?
Well, I mean, why would you want to go to a school and learn how to strap cars down when we were talking more about a school where it taught you how to start a car hauling business? I mean, there's no business development in that process. In 2 weeks, you're going to come down and learn how to strap a car down. Someone else is paying for it. More of a market would be for someone that says, hey, I want to learn how to car haul, but I really need to know how to get everything done, kind of like what your show is, the 12 steps or whatever, how you got to learn how to start a business. I mean, that is something that you could actually develop, and I'm sure that there would be enough of a draw for that. If I said, hey, I'm going to learn how to get into car hauling, I need to figure out how to get into the business, how to get my funds, where am I going to get it, what my work, and not just they're going to set you up with that, but they give you general guidelines, how to act at a Manheim or an auction, or how this works, how to get onto a dispatch site, and then you could even get it sponsored by like Central Dispatch or whatever stuff. These guys could basically pay for the school, and whatever they're paying is in addition to, the instructor. But if you're just going to go learn how to tie down cars and set up a trailer, there's no market for that. I mean, if it is, it's just a big company trying to spend money, because that you can teach literally in your parking lot or out on the road where you at least get some sort of return on it. You're after the wrong market. That's what that was.
But at the same time, let's say you were a student. Let's do it this way. Because that's essentially, you could have different tracks, just like you have corporate finance versus marketing versus sales. You could have owning your own business, and you could also have learning how to manage a 10-car Stinger from nothing. I mean, you were a florist yesterday, and now you're going to try to learn how to drive and manage a 10-car Stinger, navigating dealerships, loading and unloading, and dealing with weather. I mean, that's a lot to learn.
That's what I mean. It's a business startup.
Yeah,
what it is. You're helping them start a business. Now, that I believe that would go over well. Look at all the people that are following your show and all the people that are interested and all the questions we get asked. We don't get asked a question about how to tie down a 10-car trailer. I mean, that just don't happen. And most guys that get into a 10-car already have some sort of experience with it anyway, So, I mean, that if I was going to do it, that's what I would do. I would go after a different audience, That's my thought.
It's interesting.
When we were messing around with it, Jay, one of the obvious things I saw real fast was people don't have any money.
Right. They don't. Nobody has money.
So, I want to learn how to haul cars. The whole deal is a really vicious cycle, but I want to learn how to haul cars. Well, go work for a guy who's already doing it. Well, you can't, because you don't have 2 years experience. You can't train them. Well, go to a school. Or you go to a school, and that costs, even if it was $1,000. I mean, how many phone calls did we get that people wanted to come in and didn't have any money? But they just wanted to learn how to haul cars so they could go make money.
Well, that's why if you make that, you'd have to have that contract. We'll train you. We'll give you 2 weeks. We'll put you up. We'll train you. But you have to work here for 6 months or,
I don't know.
I think the training should be more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Definitely tricky. I'm glad I don't own any more
Ziggy
trucks.
says bingo, Ty. Yeah, hit it
Bingo.
right on the head.
Thank you, Ziggy.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's a really good topic. Maybe the best topic so far tonight.
Well, it sucks for the guys like, John and Derek and even Ziggy. I mean, it does. It sucks. You've got guys that maybe want to work, maybe want to learn the trade, get in the industry. Where do you send them? I don't have time. We've got trucks, so everybody's going. I'm trying to do paperwork. If this due, shit, crap, insurance premiums just went. John and Derek are doing the daily grind, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's hard to get in this place where, we can take our hands and we can all get real close and strap tires, right? It costs money, lots of money. Maybe that's why the school didn't go. I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, I mean, money, I could definitely see running out of money on that deal.
Hey,
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, you know what? I'm going to go with it. That buzzer, oh, dang it. I'm going to go. We just talked about trailers and insurance. We're going to go with, do I need a CDL? Because it was just right there, and I'm taking the reins. Do I need a CDL? Anybody have a feeling on this one?
Yes, go get it. Next topic.
Yeah, go get it. If you're going to haul cars and you're going to put a car trailer on the back of the truck, you need a CDL.
Put an end to this topic. Good grief.
But
Go get an effing CDL and stop.
Okay, but that's the thing. Just as there are more people that want to start their own business than be company drivers, there are more, from what I've seen, there are more people that want and believe they don't need a CDL to do this.
Good luck. DOT will get them right away because they're picking on those guys like crazy.
Well, I think you're right. But it's not stopping. I mean, everybody's trying to do this without a CDL. Now, I just said I just threw a Molotov cocktail. But a lot of people, it seems like a majority that I see are trying to do this without a CDL. Start a business, stay under. Candy, what do you got?
It's levels to it. It's really, really levels. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got it. Yeah, I love it. I love what you're saying. Keep going.
I think that what a CDL does is prepare a person to operate a piece of equipment. I don't think it's fair to the road and anybody's mama who's on it for someone to operate a vehicle with that length. Forget the weight for a second, with that length that has no prior experience beyond the U-Haul and the car behind it.
That's a really good point. In fact, it seems to be that when we talk about lawsuits, liability, FMCSA, everybody's trying to point at the fact that, you should have known, or you didn't take enough precautions. And I agree with you. It seems to me the CDL program prepares you for what you're really getting yourself into. That's why I'm not a driver. It's not. I've driven really large vans and stuff, but I don't consider myself ready to start hauling cars on a trailer. That's why I don't try.
If I see one more dually with the back window busted out from just not knowing how to pivot and make turns, all the stories are good and it's slightly sad, but one more dually with that back glass busted out with no plastic or sometimes plastic, like, that's your sign. If you don't need any other sign that you need a CDL, look at your back glass if you're in a small truck. That's your sign if it's a glass missing.
We see it all the time, don't we? I mean, it's the back glass on both sides, It's just, it's unbelievable what these guys doing. And they're out there doing it, but I don't know. Lately, I've been seeing DOT's getting a lot stricter on them, and hopefully they can get them off the road, because they got over 10,000 pounds, on that truck and that trailer. So by rights, they're supposed to be doing drug testing. They're supposed to have a physical card, everything, and it's only a matter of time, hopefully, that they get them all off the road.
It's so interesting because, I mean, everybody's saying in the live chat and here, we're all talking CDL, but there are people every day asking how do I stay under the limit? Plus, now with the FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, I think even more people are trying to do it without a CDL because that only applies to CDL holders. It's like we're talking about something illegal and everybody just stopped, talking. And it's really odd. This is really, really odd. I feel like I brought up something. I've just brought up a secret. So we're gonna keep going.
Well, let's just say, Jay, 3 cars on a trailer. How many cars even weigh less than 3,500 pounds? You have 3 3,500-pound cars, and you're over the 10,000 pound on the trailer. And let's face it. Like I said, how many cars weigh less than 35, or how many automobiles out there weigh less than 3,500 pounds nowadays?
And here's what's so funny. You know what? I say it. I've never driven. I've never loaded. But as a dispatcher, I know it's literally frustrating to try and book even a 3-car trailer for somebody that is looking for 3 cars under 3,500 pounds. It is maddening. No, I don't want to do it. Let somebody else do that. No, that's insane. There, I said it. Oh, and the timer's going off. Perfect timing. So proud of myself.
Spin that wheel.
Spin the wheel. Hit the wheel, Jay. Okay, so we got new business owner operator. Perfect segue from do I need a CDL? So, you want to start car hauling. You're ready to start your business. You got your business name. You know what truck you want. Are you ready? Right? I read the emails. I got a truck. I got a trailer. I got a business name. Go.
What's
Well,
the topic, Jay?
I'm going to say a lot of people think they can just go on load boards and,
Yes.
that might work for a while, but you have to start with something like, a dealership that you're doing work for that you can mix in, use a load board to mix in. That's all well and good. But with all the things you said, your ethics insurance, everything else, like you're not going to make money just running off a load board.
Why not? People want to know why not.
I mean, this day and age with analytics and all the information that's out there, I mean, they got it whittled down. Any little thing that goes wrong, all your profit goes out the window.
Exactly.
And sooner or later, something's going to go wrong.
And by the time it got to the load board, everybody's friend already got asked if they were available. So now it's
I would say sometimes, not all the time.
Not all
but,
the time.
There is a lot of if you look at Central Dispatch, you'll see loads that are double and triple brokered out there, and how many people are taking a cut off before that, without mentioning names. There's certain places where I guess you can find a niche market where it might work, but there's not too many niche markets out there anymore.
I agree with everything you just said, and I mean I say it a lot, so it's great to hear you say it. Ty, you look like you got something to say.
I wonder what Donnie's doing. What are you doing, Donnie?
I'm just listening. I'm trying to figure out how to start a business.
How many trucks do you have now, Donnie?
Exactly.
How many?
Yeah.
We're at 3, but we're going back to 5 at the end of the month. I told you I was downsizing, but you know me, so.
Right
yeah,
on.
We took over all the processing stuff, so we got a lot of guys now. I got too many people in the mix. That's what all this paperwork around me over here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's what all I did. I'm sitting there looking at it going, shit, I need to get that done.
You look organized from here, bud.
Well, yeah, I think because the screen's going behind me and everything's in front of me. But if a fire broke out, I'd be in trouble. But, I mean, we keep coming up on the same point of all this is that if you take into account any business and you go and you try to go, you can go to a small business association website and it's going to tell you, it's going to ask you all the same questions that we're kind of asking everybody else to have is where are you going to get, where's your business coming from? Where's your sales coming from? Who's your competition? How are you going to, you have to have some sort of clear vision, just like this business or any business. And if you don't, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's hauling cars or making snow cones. You've got to have a business plan. I mean, anybody that says, hey, I want to start hauling cars and they start buying stuff, it's the same as anybody. You can't do that. You have to have a plan. Even they won't even lend you money without a plan, So I think that's one of the good things is everything's, DOT limits some of the craziness. The banks limit some of the craziness. Insurance is trying to limit some of that. You can't just have a free for all. I mean, everybody asks a lot of questions about how to start, but when it comes down to it, brass tacks, there's not a lot of guys that are sitting in their house with $100,000 and saying, hey, I'm just going to go out and start today. They got to get that money from somewhere. They got to get the insurance from somewhere, So I think the market kind of limits a little bit of the silliness. But me personally, if I was going to do it, I would go and I didn't have a CDL. I would go back to doing the 3-car wedge thing, get the CDL even if I didn't need it, and start logging hours and miles and time because insurance doesn't care if it has air brake endorsement. And you're also like the back window thing. You're busting out windows on a $30,000 pickup truck with 12,000 or 20,000 pounds behind you compared to a $150,000 truck with 80,000 pounds on it. You're learning. You got to start somewhere. And I mean, there's a lot of crazy people who want to talk about buying a 10 car, but I personally haven't met one yet. I mean, I think there's some out there, but it would take a lot of logistics to make that work money wise. And, the learning curve with it. I don't know. That's just my thought. I think we always touch base on it. We can always go back to the same circles that a business is a business is a business. This is no different than any other business. You have to have a clear plan, So that's my thought.
I love what you said. It's great. And I was there with you for years, man. You've been through the ringer, man.
I've done every version of this business.
Holy mackerel. I mean, 50
figured...
stories just went through my head. I mean,
oh god, yeah, it's and it's not all horror stories. It's not all horror stories.
But,
no, but I mean,
go
ahead, John.
But it's gotten so much harder to do business. Like I said, with electronic logs now, and like you said, with this clearinghouse and DOT. I mean, DOT now is they're more stricter than they ever have been. I mean, before we used to get away with it. You're lucky you got DOT'd once a year. Nowadays they were getting you every other week, and the whole thing is that they just made it so hard on you to be in business. It's a tough step for somebody to take at this point.
It is,
and that's the thing is when something ramps up like that. I mean, you're talking DOT, I don't know, once a year or whatever, and then now, like why Sean just put in the live chat, he had 3 level. How many was it? 3 in one day? 3 level 1s in one day. How do you get any work done?
Holy cow, that's a new record. Wow. That's awesome. Hey, Jay, it's like we were talking about the other day. Remember on the phone we were talking, you're like, okay, what tips, advice do you give these people you coach all the time? Because from Jay's show, he gets a lot of questions and they come over to me and I try to help them as best I can, whatever. And Jay and I were talking the other day and I said, really, before even, know the market, know the industry, know the competition, know the competitor. I told Jay the other day, I said, before you even start down that, why don't you get at least 6 months cash and get your credit score at least above 750. Then start doing some market research. But really, in Donnie, John, and Derek, and Candy, I think we would all agree. We didn't just start out with, our credit. We had some money stashed somewhere. At least I did. Donnie?
I had credit, but I maxed it out the very first trip on accident. I had a truck breakdown, went through all $12,000 within 2 weeks. So
Oh my!
and I was a grown ass man sitting on the side of the road crying. It was, and somehow or another, I didn't quit. I don't know why, but I was sitting in Merrillville, Indiana, and literally went through every bit of that credit card, and I couldn't even get a hotel room that night. I slept in the back of the truck because I didn't have no more money left. Well, I had enough money to get fuel to finish the trip to get paid, and I said, "Well, I'm done. I quit." And I didn't want to tell my wife. It was a bad deal. And then, long story short, I think what ended up happening is I went back because I had a regular job at the time. And so I was on vacation. I burned all my vacation waiting for the truck to get fixed. Didn't make anything. I think I made like $60 after fuel and everything. And then I'd lost $12,000. But the funniest part is that I didn't make any money with that truck and setup until I went out and I actually bought a personal dually, brand new, with no miles on it. And then all of a sudden, somehow or another, I stopped worrying about breaking down and started worrying about a business, focusing on the business. And by the time I started having any truck problems, I had already established myself so well that I made money. You know, of course, I mean, I don't even want to say it on the internet. I believe I was probably running 21 hours a day, to get back out of that hole, but long story short, $12,000, it was the very, very first trip. And I said, like I said, I hate to even admit it, but I was a grown man crying. I didn't know what to do.
Man. I love that.
Well, I mean, my job paid me $600 a week that I was working at. 12 grand. You ain't going to get that back real quick at $600 on a 40-hour work week. So I didn't know where it was going to come from.
Oh, wow. Hey, Don, I still cry every day. Don't worry about it.
I didn't want to admit, but I cried earlier too. So no, it was a, you got to be really thick-skulled and hard-headed, and you really have to have, I mean, like I said, with this business or any business, you got to be able to go to sleep, quit 20 times, go to sleep, and wake up so refreshed with a whole new plan. If you can't do that, the business is not for you.
And
it's definitely not a 9-to-5 job, that's for sure.
Hell no.
My understanding is you really need to be mechanically inclined. When you're broke down and you need to limp somewhere, if you're like me and you don't know anything under a hood other than what you've heard or been told, that's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
You have got to be able to get under there. How many hours have you spent? We've talked about this, Don. Underneath a truck, messing around.
Oh, I still do.
Right.
I mean, it never stops. And I would love to say, well, you just get a good mechanic. I even had a mechanic on staff up in Indiana, and you still have to do it. You can't have a guy. I mean, I can't have a guy rewire a trailer when I can buy wire for $23 and do it myself instead of at my kid's birthday party. But I could pay a guy $400, so I just saved $370. And, we've talked about this many times. I don't care how much money you make a week. If you made $3,000 this week and all of a sudden you had back-to-back motor problems or axle problems or whatever, and now you're in the whole $9 grand, the $3 grand didn't make nothing. Now you're $6,000 negative. You got to have some abilities and skills, and you have to have a little bit of luck. You got to have a little bit of ability. And me personally, just a suggestion to everybody else out there, I broke down so many times later on as we were going with semi-trucks and stuff that as I was driving through cities on some of the same routes, I would pay attention to where I could get hubs, tires, brakes, where the hell the towing company was. I did it. I knew everything on 35 where I could stop, save. I mean, you start, you think of that all the time. And a $3,000 fix compared to a $500 fix will save you every time. $500, $2,500. You do that 10 times, you then save $25,000 for the year.
Well, and I don't know how many times I've heard people talking about a light went out, and and they got pulled around back. You can't leave until you fix that or fix this. Candy, you're raising your hand. What's up, Candy?
And a lot of people who aren't mechanically inclined, I learned how to read people, of course, because you can tell when somebody's about to crap on you, mechanic wise. But like Ziggy on the website, he has a lot of good information that he's put together. I have used it to give to other drivers who aren't online and just, throwing out an SOS to give them information about documented businesses in the area that can specifically help car haulers. So not really a shameless plug because he's in the family.
But that's key info. It is. There's actually, we've talked about this, that to have the complete website and resource national guide of information, there is a ton of info that could be on all of these sites at the ready through an app that would just make this amazing. Crickets.
Yeah, something I didn't think about a while ago, I should have mentioned too, is when I started, I was lucky because I had 3 other friends that had similar equipment to mine. And there was, I don't know, maybe a handful of times, it wasn't nothing major, but we were able to help each other out, not really sales-wise, but I believe I broke down one time and I had a guy come with his dually and pick up my trailer, and I paid him almost what I had on the load, but I had to deliver those customers or I was never going to get that load again. I was trying to make good on a situation. And now, I really don't know really hardly anybody in the business. It would be a lot harder to start for me. It was just a timing thing at that time that I feel like helped me out a lot. I did the same thing for other people too.
We do the same thing here. We're, because we work on car carriers all the time, we're able to help anybody out that comes through the area that has a problem. But I'll be honest with you, one thing you have to do is become a certified welder when it comes to a car hauler, because it's amazing how many times these things, how many times the decks will break or crack or this or that, and you ain't going no place until you fix it.
Right. John at Paladin, he used to talk about welding on his wedge trailer all the time because it was older. It was just falling apart and needed to be welded. Weld this, weld that. It was nonstop.
These roads are unbelievable, and you think about that thing just bouncing up and down and tweaking back and forth. Eventually, something's got to break, and that's what's going on there because the roads are just so bad.
Usually when you strengthen one part, you find another weak spot. Wherever you make strong goes weak next,
It's true. So listen, guys, we're at that point, and I appreciate everybody sticking around and joining. Especially John and Derek, you guys are going on an hour and a half. I am so lucky to have your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, John and Derek. That was really cool. Both you guys are awesome.
No problem.
Really?
It's been nice talking to you all. I appreciate you letting us get involved in this tonight. And, hopefully we help somebody out that's starting to get into this business.
Exactly. Not only have we helped somebody either live tonight or somebody who's going to watch later on demand, but not only helped somebody out, but also put some thoughts into what needs to happen next to help this industry grow and get better. That's one of my goals. Candy, you had something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say hello, Ty, and thanks everyone for being on there. Don, I want to say thank you for personally helping my family, and I think it's a lot of new guys. I got a lot of guys to tune in to make sure that they know that you really are a working driver, and just your take on it. We don't get to hear from you a lot on here. And oh my God, I love your equipment. Fine Line and Lyrics both have some of the cleanest paint lick equipment on the road. I don't know if everybody is familiar, so I just wanted to drop that so some of the guys will go check out their page and just see what they're working with. It's car hauling on a whole nother level. Much respect.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Candy.
I appreciate that.
Beautiful.
I appreciate that because I wanted to say this is that I'm going to put in the Fine Line Transportation website here and also Lyrics. And Lyrics, your site is ltiservices.com. Is that right, John?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we got FineLineTransport.com. I'm going to put Larry's in here. And if somebody has a question, I like to say this. If somebody has a question, is there a way to whether it's an email or a website or a phone number, what is the best way to contact you? Can people ask general questions?
I would say the best way for them to contact me, and they can call me anytime. I mean, I do that with our association now. I tell everybody, you just call me. Just call my office, and they'll get me on the phone. If I'm not here, I'll call you back. I have no problems talking to somebody, helping them out. And if they have an issue with a truck or something, call me. I'll help you out. I think I've been there. I've seen anything that can happen with a Peterbilt. I think I've seen it happen. So I might have the answer for you. So don't be afraid to call.
Can I put that in the live chat? The 973-1959. Is that the number?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just put that in the live chat. John Larrick. There's the office line. And again, you can find John's company, ltiservices.com, Larrick's Towing and Transport. I know I don't need to say that. You are well known, but in case anybody is brand new and watching the show, then they know more about that. And Derek, is there? I think there's like a 717 the 0008 number on the.
Yes.
Okay, and that's kind of the office line.
Yeah, and then John also has a full repair facility. I mean, I call John. Sometimes I call John 3 times a week still when I got a question, or sometimes it's once a month. I just called him yesterday for some advice because he knows all about trucks or whatever, or he's bailed me out many times. I mean, and I've tried to return the favor when he was around Mannheim and he needed something, but we don't have a repair facility, but John has a repair facility for anyone out there that is in the area that needs anything.
John has a trick my truck shop.
Yeah.
That's my son's. That's Jonathan's. Jonathan is that's him. Please.
Okay.
Got to give him the credit for that.
That's awesome, man. Family business.
Donnie, Candy, good to see you guys. I got to go. Have a good one. Jay, love you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Ty.
Ciao, guys.
See you, buddy.
Good night. Thank you.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Don, Candy, Derek, John. Thank you, guys.
Oh, no problem.
This was
right.
awesome.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Okay. Peace out, fellas. All right.
Have a good night.
Good night, guys. All right. I'm ending the meeting. There's that. You can still hear me talking. You're seeing the Wheel O topics. Let's go ahead and get the where are we at here? Oh, okay, yeah, we've got to switch this camera. I know it's hard to leave the party, but we're packing our things and we're getting ready to go. And here, let's get that last screen here. The thank you watching for Auto Transport Intel screen. Listen, I really appreciate you guys spending time with me on Tuesday night. I got 2 hours of time, and now it's time to go. It's time for me to run that car hauler. But the whole point of this, again, driver shortage, driver retention, driver recruiting, is that this remains to be a top issue for a fleet. And we know that there's a lot of people that want to start a business. Not everybody's going to be able to, given the cost and the barriers. So if you're having a difficult time starting up a business, there are many car hauling fleets that are always looking for drivers, ready to talk to you. In fact, one of my goals, listen, if you're with a car hauling fleet and you're at the end of the show, that might be a miracle. But if that happened, I would love to talk to you and your company, bring you on the show, bring you into a live panel and an interview, share the good news and the information with all the folks. Listen, all you guys in the live chat saying goodnight. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. As you know, this is Auto Transport Intel Tuesday nights live. I'm live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. If you've got something to share, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Please send me an email. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And of course, please remember to be safe out there. We do appreciate your hard work. And keep on rocking and rolling. And I'll see you next Tuesday night for Dispatch Center and Truckify by Superflow Systems Part 3. So we'll see you guys. Oh, and in 2 weeks, Ernest Dandridge, Carrier Design Services. Talk to Ernest today. That's going to be a great show. You're not going to want to miss it. Here comes the Car Hauler. Good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.